Welcome to this week's edition of Clear Lake in Review, brought to you today by the Bank of Clear Lake. A new part of our program is the Clear Lake Centennial Song, written and performed by the Glen Kirk family of Clear Lake. Today's program is a special treat for Clear Lake people, as the guests today are Bill and Myrtle Sadler. Verne Engebretson and I spent an afternoon at the Sadler home in Clear Lake, and this is our conversation.
Mr. and Mrs. Bill Sadler are respectively 93 and 92 years of age. They are just ripe young parents of Clear Lake, and I think that we want to talk to them about some of their accomplishments that they have obtained. Bill, would you tell us about some of the things that you have built in the Clear Lake area?
Well, I've done a lot of building in Clear Lake. Pool hall, and that's what it was built for. And it turned out to be Skogmo's store. And, I don't know if I could get them in rotation, but I don't remember that much. But
I don't think that really matters, Bill. I think that the people just want to know some of the buildings that you have built, and also tell us some of the dams that you have built in the area.
Well, the buildings in Clear Lake, Pearson and I built as I said, the pool hall, and we built the Oddfellows building. And we built a great many houses in Clear Lake and some barns out to the country. And we built the dam over at Little Falls. And that was quite a big job. We started to work there in March in 1917, I think. And we finished up in February 1918. And after that, I built a building in Amory. It's right across from the depot there. That was an office for Wisconsin Hydro Company. And at that time, Charlie was working over in the mill for Snyder. They put in a little marble flour mill over there. And on the night of, I guess it was the last day of December, the doggone thing caught fire and burned. And Charlie lost a whole rampoodle of tools he had there, a toolbox and Mr. Snyder bought him a whole new set of tools. It cost him about $125 at that time. That was a lot of moolah to pay for his tools. Afterwards, we worked up on the Fred Booth and I took a job of clearing the floors up at Trigo. We had a camp crew up there during the winter. I don't remember the year of that, but it cleared all that floors, about 160 acres there. Fred Booth and I worked together on the build of the jail in Balsam Lake. And afterwards, I worked on the construction of the highway garage in Balsam Lake. That was in 1930, I believe. And I done all the layout work there and run the carpenter crew. We had 12 carpenters, and we had a lot of men there. There was a WPA job, and they worked 3 days each week, but they're supposed to have so many days each month, and they'd work 3 days, half of them, and the other half worked the other 3 days during the week, and then they kind of, to come out right, number of hours for each one of those. There was one day during the month that they had the whole outfit there. The 120, about 120 men, and 12 carpenters. Jim Johnson was supposed to be the head man, and he run the crew, and I supervised the construction of the farms and run the carpenters gang. And well, we worked there up until July, I think. We started in the last of December and worked until we started the 1st of December. Worked all winter.
Now, you also built the NSP building here in Clear Lake too, didn't you?
Yeah, up on the hill there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I built the ag shop. When they're going to enlarge now.
Right.
And when that schoolhouse was built here, that high school building, I done all the cement finishing, and I worked 9 weeks in that building. And there was a lot of cement work in there. You know, the old gym was with the seats up on the side, that was all cement. And all the floors were cement, that is in all but the classroom, I guess they were wood on top of cement slab. I finished all the stairways, and that was surely a lot of work. They put those noses again, spring them in between the walls, and had to set them to line and level, and it was a lot of hard work.
I'm going to just talk to Mrs. Sadler here a moment. We understand that you didn't move very far after you got to Clear Lake, or I should say after you married Bill. You were born and raised right up the street here, right?
Yes, I was born right up back of where Dr. Church's home is now. And I spent practically all my life in this territory. I lived in Osceola a little while and went to Montana with him.
You mean this is the guy that you live with now that you went to Montana with?
Yeah, he's the same one. I don't know. I haven't done anything out of the order. I stayed at home and kept the family and baked a lot of bread.
Well, we do know that you folks have been active in community affairs, and you were honored by the local lodge here in town a year ago for being a 60-year member of the Clear Lake Lodge number 230 F and AM. And I understand that you have been a member of the Eastern Star about that same time.
Yes.
And I know that the members here are very proud to have you folks as members of their lodges. So I know that the community appreciates this very much.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now, you built many dams around here, Bill, and most of these dams that you've built have been turned over to the counties now for parks and one thing and another. NSP owned them at one time, and now they've turned them back over. Did you ever vision that this would happen in the future?
Well, I don't know. When that dam was built over there, why, Ed Snyder was the head of the outfit, and he said he wanted to build it for the last 20 years. He said they took off a depreciation of 5% each year, and he says 20 years is done. And but I don't know how they handled that, where they kept making improvements. You know, we went back the second year and put in a new draft tube in there, and I worked on a dam up at Verne once in a while, just a little repair work. So, and I joined the Carpenters Union in Aberdeen, Washington in 1910. I was out there for 1 year.
You built your own home here, Bill, and this is many years ago, as we can tell by the structure, but it's a very well-built home, and I think anyone that living in Clear Lake would be very proud to be a homeowner in a type of home like this that you may have built. And I know you built other houses in town, and they're still standing.
Yeah, we built the house where Johnny Champion lives, built up for Carl Nilsson. We built the one where Tom Nilsson Jr. lived. We built that for Dave McClellan. And they built the Equation house where they live, built that for Dr. Campbell. That was everything in there was different than anything else. All the moldings and everything were especially designed. I drew up the plans and got them blueprinted, and I sent the plans into the millwork house, and they'd done an awful nice job on that millwork stuff. Those doors are between the two different rooms, or the side of the door that faces the room is finished in that wood. Mm-hmm. The main rooms are quarter-sawed white oak, and the curly birch, and it's supposed to be a porch, but it turned out to be an entryway with a heater in it.
Do you feel that the homes that are being built today have as good a workmanship as when the days that you're doing it?
Well, I don't know. I guess probably they do. If they drive in enough nails, they probably do. Because the material is so much different now. You don't have to saw it all up. You can get it, and just all you got to do is nail it together.
Right. That was kind of a loaded question for you, Bill. I kind of expected you to say that they weren't as well built, because I know that you're pretty proud of the work that you used to do. And I think anyone that knows Bill Sadler knows that the work that he did was well done.
Well, we done the best we could under the existing circumstances, you know. a lot of things happen, and some conditions are different. And
we know that you put in many hours out in your little shop out here behind your home here years ago. And we also know that your wife has had some surgery last summer that has prevented you from doing this. And of course, at 93, you should be slowing up just a little bit now. Have you got any?
I'm slow enough.
Have you got any ambitions for this summer's activities? Are you going to get up and kick your heels up at the Centennial celebrations?
Well, I kind of doubt it. I'm just taking it, rolling along with the tide, and I don't worry about anything. And I guess I'll be here till the end comes, and that's all there is to it.
Well, I'm sure looking at you, Bill, that you're not looking for the end tomorrow because of your...
Oh, I'm not looking for it, but then...
You're just ready for it, I know.
Ready for it.
And I know that you live a very full life and have lived a very full life. And I think of any of the old-timers in Clear Lake, you're one of the greatest, and I really mean that, Bill.
This has been Clear Lake in Review, brought to you today by the Bank of Clear Lake. My guests, Verne Engebretson, Bill and Myrtle Sadler. This is Evie Nurbin reporting for Clear Lake in Review. Some may cry.